This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Michelle has another spooky episode for us this morning, and since we are co-authors on Kansas Forts and Bases, yes, shameless plug there, we wanted to take you to one of the haunted forts. Let's visit Fort Riley with Michelle this morning. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Deb. As October draws to a haunting close, you may hear things that go bump in the night. In the light of day, let's look at ghostly happenings at Fort Riley. Fort Riley is known to Kansans as the home of the Army's Big Red One, quaint architecture, the Custer House, buffalo soldiers, and valor. The history of the post is filled with stories of bravery and sorrow. In 1855, Fort Riley played host to an unwelcome visitor that struck silently and left bottomless grief in its wake. In early August 1855, most of Fort Riley's troops were away from post on survey missions and patrolling the frontier. A small contingent of soldiers and civilian contractors were left behind to man the post. The wives and children of Fort Riley's officers went about their days waiting for their loved ones' return. On August 1st, 1855, the first soldier on post showed the symptoms of Asiatic cholera. Within a few days, the infections and deaths began to mount on post and in the nearby community of Junction City. Major Ogden, Fort Riley's commanding officer, was among the first victims. Cholera was an equal opportunity killer and worked quickly. By the time the fort's troops returned, over 100 men, women, and children had lost their lives. One of the victims was Cornelia Armistead, the wife of future Confederate commander Lewis Armistead, who was posted at Fort Riley. When Armistead returned, he discovered that his dear wife had perished. To honor his beloved, Armistead hired a stonemason to carve her tombstone. In a twist of irony, the stone carver was found dead with his tools in hand in the fort's cemetery at Cornelia's grave. He too succumbed to cholera. In the coming years, people on post reported seeing and hearing a weeping man at Cornelia's grave. Could it be the doomed carver or her grieving husband? Perhaps we will never know. The young also fared poorly in the outbreak. Susan Fox lived with her stepfather, Sergeant Lowe, on post. Described as hauntingly beautiful, Susan was to wed John Price. While John was away helping civilians in Junction City during the outbreak, Susan succumbed to cholera. When John returned, he tenderly laid Susan to rest wearing her bridal gown. However, not long after her death, John and others in Junction City started hearing and seeing an apparition at John's home. The ethereal being cried and banged on the door of John's house, begging to be let inside. Locals claimed it was Susan's spirit begging for shelter. Some residents of Junction City claim that her spirit still appears, crying for her unrequited love. Fort Riley and Junction City have become routine stops for those seeking the supernatural. Susan Fox has inspired songs. Visitors still look for the weeping man at Cornelia's grave. Military contractors report hearing footsteps, crying, and laughing when they're visited by curious, benevolent spirits in the post's oldest buildings. Now the question is, do you believe in things that go bump in the night? I hope you'll join me next time for another historical adventure somewhere around Kansas.
Safe and happy Halloween to everybody. Watch out for those little people and be careful. And as always, have a great week until next time. In the meantime, I'll see you somewhere around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need, from prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.